Hello, and welcome to Tom and Ben News Wikipedia News Edition. On 23rd episode of Season 2 is Firefox.
Mozilla Firefox, or simply Firefox, is a free and open source web browser developed by the Mozilla Foundation and its subsidiary, the Mozilla Corporation.
It uses the Gecko rendering engine to display web pages, which implements current and anticipated web standards.
Firefox is available for Windows 10 or later versions of Windows, Mac OS, and Linux.
Its unofficial ports are available for various Unix and Unix-like operating systems, including FreeBSD, OpenBSD, NetBSD, and other operating systems, such as React OS.
Firefox is also available for Android and iOS.
However, as with all other iOS web browsers, the iOS version uses the WebKit layout engine instead of Gecko due to platform requirements.
An optimized version is also available on the Amazon Fire TV as one of the two main browsers available with Amazon's Silk browser. Firefox is the spiritual successor of Netscape Navigator, as the Mozilla community was created by Netscape in 1998, before its acquisition by AOL.
Firefox was created in 2002 under the codename Phoenix by members of the Mozilla community who desired a standalone browser rather than the Mozilla Application Suite bundle.
During its beta phase, it proved to be popular with its testers and was praised for its speed, security, and add-ons, compared to Microsoft's then dominant Internet Explorer 6.
It was released on November 9, 2004, and challenged Internet Explorer's dominance with 60 million downloads within 9 months.
In November 2017, Firefox began incorporating new technology under the codename Quantum to promote parallelism and a more intuitive user interface. Firefox usage share grew to a peak of 32.21% in November 2009, with Firefox 3.5 overtaking Internet Explorer 7. Although not all versions of Internet Explorer as a whole, its usage then declined in competition with Google Chrome.
As of February 2025, according to StatCounter, it had a 6.36% usage share on traditional PCs, that is, as a desktop browser, making it the fourth most popular PC web browser after Google Chrome, 65%, Microsoft Edge, 14%, and Safari, 8.65%.
The project began as an experimental branch of the Mozilla project by Dave Hyatt, Joe Hewitt, and Blake Ross.
They believed the commercial requirements of Netscape's sponsorship and developer-driven feature creep compromised the utility of the Mozilla browser.
To combat what they saw as the Mozilla Suite software bloat, they created a standalone browser with which they intended to replace the Mozilla Suite.
Version 0.1 was released on September 23, 2002.
On April 3, 2003, the Mozilla organization announced that it planned to change its focus from the Mozilla Suite to Firefox and Thunderbird. The Firefox project has undergone several name changes.
The nascent browser was originally named Phoenix after the mythical bird that rose triumphantly from the ashes of its dead predecessor. In this case, from the ashes of Netscape Navigator after it was sidelined by Microsoft Internet Explorer in the first browser war.
Phoenix was renamed in 2003 due to a trademark claim from Phoenix Technologies.
The replacement name, Firebird, provoked an intense response from the Firebird database software project.
The Mozilla Foundation reassured them that the browser would always bear the name Mozilla Firebird to avoid confusion.
After further pressure, Mozilla Firebird became Mozilla Firefox on February 9, 2004.
The name Firefox was said to be derived from a nickname of the Red Panda, which became the mascot for the newly named project.
For the abbreviation of Firefox, Mozilla prefers FX or FX, although it is often abbreviated as FF or FF.
The Firefox project went through many versions before version 1.0 and had already gained a great deal of acclaim from numerous media outlets, such as Forbes and the Wall Street Journal.
Among Firefox's popular features were the integrated pop-up blocker, tabbed browsing, and an extension mechanism for adding functionality.
Although these features have already been available for some time in other browsers such as the Mozilla Suite and Opera, Firefox was the first of these browsers to have achieved large-scale adoption so quickly.
Firefox attracted attention as an alternative to Internet Explorer, which had come under fire for its alleged poor program design and insecurity. Detractors cite IE's lack of support for certain web standards, use of a potentially dangerous ActiveX component, and vulnerability to spyware and malware installation.
Microsoft responded by releasing Windows XP Service Pack 2, which added several important security features to Internet Explorer 6. Version 1.0 of Firefox was released on November 9, 2004.
This was followed by version 1.5 in November 2005, version 2.0 in October 2006, version 3.0 in June 2008, version 3.5 in June 2009, version 3.6 in January 2010, and version 4.0 in March 2011.
From version 5 onwards, the development and release model changed into a rapid one. By the end of 2011, the stable release was version 9, and by the end of 2012, it reached version 17. In 2016, Mozilla announced a project known as Quantum, which sought to improve Firefox's Gecko engine and other components to improve the browser's performance, modernize its architecture, and transition the browser to a multi-process model.
These improvements came in the wake of decreasing market share to Google Chrome, as well as concerns that its performance was lapsing in comparison.
Despite its improvements, these changes required existing add-ons for Firefox to be made incompatible with newer versions, in favor of a new extension system that is designed to be similar to Chrome and other recent browsers.
Firefox 57, which was released in November 2017, was the first version to contain enhancements from Quantum, and has thus been named Firefox Quantum.
A Mozilla executive stated that Quantum was the biggest update to the browser since version 1.0.
Unresponsive and crashing pages only affect other pages loaded within the same process.
While Chrome uses separate processes for each loaded tab, Firefox distributes tabs over 4 processes by default, since Quantum, in order to balance memory consumption and performance.
The process count can be adjusted where more processes increase performance at the cost of memory, therefore suitable for computers with larger RAM capacity.
On May 3, 2019, the expiry of an intermediate signing certificate on Mozilla servers caused Firefox to automatically disable and lock all browser extensions, add-ons,
Mozilla began the rollout of a fix shortly thereafter, using their Mozilla Studies component.
Support for Adobe Flash was dropped on January 6, 2021, with the release of Firefox 85. On June 1, 2021, Firefox's Proton redesign was offered through its stable release channel after being made available in the beta builds.
While users were initially allowed to revert to the old design through /config, the corresponding key value pairs reportedly stopped working in later builds, resulting in criticism.
These included accessibility concerns despite Mozilla's claim to continue to work with the accessibility community and had not been resolved as of October 2024. On January 15, 2022, an issue with Firefox's HTTP/3 implementation resulted in a widespread outage for several hours. On September 26, 2023, Firefox 118.0 introduced on-device translation of web page content. On January 23, 2024, along with the release of Firefox 122.0, Mozilla introduced an official apt repository for Debian-based Linux distributions. We will continue about Firefox in Part 2, so stay tuned.